Hi everyone. For our final project, as Mary said, we decided to take on the challenge of building a BitTorrent client. So we're just going to walk you through the process that we've gone through for the past couple of weeks. For those of you that don't know, BitTorrent is a way for users to exchange files over the internet. Users can connect from anywhere in the world to share data, and users that take part in this process are known as peers. If one user has a file that they want to share, they let a central tracker know that they have the file. This lets other users that want to download the file query the tracker, and they find out who has the original file. The person that has the original file is known as the seeder, and the people that want to download the file are known as leechers. Once the leechers know about who has the file, they can make a direct connection to the original person, who can then start replying to their requests for pieces of the file. And those requests can be sent in any order, so the magic is how the file gets put back together at the end. Once the leechers start to receive pieces of the file, they can then start uploading that file onwards. As this process continues, it results in what is known as a swarm, which is a group of computers all uploading and downloading the same file at the same time. And I'm going to pass you over to Flora, who's going to tell you how we tried to do this ourselves.
So, how do you join a swarm and start downloading the file that you want? You will need a BitTorrent client, which is a program that is responsible for all of the messaging to and from the tracker and to the other peers. The BitTorrent client will need to identify which pieces of the file that you need and add them all to a queue of pieces to be requested. Once it receives pieces, it will have to track which ones it's got so it doesn't keep asking for the same piece over and over again. When it receives pieces, it will also have to arrange them in order in a new file. And so hopefully, once the process is finished, you'll have your song or whatever you're trying to download that will play in order. There are a number of existing clients out there that some of you might be familiar with, like uTorrent or Transmission. And this was really the aim of our project, to build a functional program that would interact with existing clients in order to share files. So none of us knew anything about how BitTorrent works, so we spent the first 2 days just researching and understanding the messages that need to be sent. We then spent the rest of the week on our minimum viable product, which was a client that can download a single file from a single peer. We were then able to spend the following week implementing additional features like connecting to multiple peers via a tracker and also seeding a file. So we did manage to get a working client, and I'll pass you over to Natalia, who will do a quick demo.
Thank you. So Tidbit torrent is a command line application, and we will have it running on 2 machines. So the user on the left will be a seed, and the user on the right will be a leecher. So the leecher will download this file, this beautiful picture of our team, from a seed. And let's just watch. So the leecher connects to the seed, and they start exchanging messages. And the leecher will download this file piece by piece using BitTorrent protocol. And if you look, you can see messages being logged. And the leecher has received all the pieces of file and saved it to a file. Yes, magic. So. The leecher is now not a leecher anymore. It's now a seed and can share this picture with all the other people in the world. And we used this simple picture in our demo, but actually we tested our application with large video files. And it's a great way of sharing them because you can download different pieces from several users at the same time, so it's very quick. And also, if people want to share large files, they don't need to pay for hosting them. And Yeah, and now Narayan is going to talk about our struggles and successes. Yeah.
Thanks very much. Yeah, sure. Ooh. I'm click happy. There we go. So yeah, first I'll talk about some of the struggles that we went through. Of course, some of them have already been mentioned. The background on this slide is just sort of supposed to illustrate some of the complexity that we faced. This was a terminal screen on any one of our computers at any point during during the project. You can see there, this just sort of illustrates the challenge that we went through of writing software that dealt with sort of raw data, I suppose, like a really low level of abstraction, at least, which is supposed to say that we looked at the fundamental basis of networking over the internet. So that was, although a challenge, great learning for all of us. And part of that was, yeah, dealing with data, as Mary mentioned, encoded in different ways. One of the sort of offshoots of that is that we had a lot of sort of heavy-duty technical documentation to go through. So there's some good documentation about the BitTorrent protocol, but it's pretty tough reading. Yeah, so that was a struggle of ours. And finally, I'd say testing was a little bit of a struggle. We did everything TDD, test-driven, but when it came to being able to simulate messages coming into the application, that was a bit of a challenge. We couldn't quite get that one, but ultimately we got that. We were able to write those tests, and that leads me on to the successes. So underlining most of what we did was like this really great work ethic. Oh yeah, there's a nice time lapse that shows us practicing things like pair programming and quickly having stand-ups and quick meetings and so on. Of course, that's sort of fundamental to what we learn at Makers. We did lots of research and we planned early. And I suppose, again, part of that is diagramming. And as many of the other teams have mentioned, we diagrammed heavily. And we've got some examples of that on the next slide. Doing that, of course, was fantastic, was crucial for our understanding of all of the complex messages that get sent to and from peers and trackers and so on. Yeah. And I suppose at the end of it all, yeah, we have this working BitTorrent application, which we're super, super pleased with, and you've seen demonstrated. So yeah, ultimately, that's our greatest success of all. And that's our story. That's Tidbit torrent. Oh yeah, sorry, one more thing. Here's the diagrams. You can see it's just like a mental mess of spaghetti. But this really was crucial to helping our understanding of all the messages. And yes, that is our story. Thanks very much.